Some of us find starting a new campaign to be tricky, especially when it comes to character introductions. But what is a good way to introduce your players' characters to one another? Well, you're in luck, as today I will be covering my top 4 ways of introducing characters in a new campaign. Let's start with the patron. The patron is an NPC in your game that brings the party together to perform a certain goal. This goal can be something personal to the party members, or be a threat that affects all of them. Alternatively, the patron can just have deep pockets filled with gold and willing to pay the party a significant sum to perform a certain task. What makes the patron great is that you can have an NPC that gives your party information about the quest at hand, but also gives them a common goal to work towards. The patron gathers characters from all walks of life, so it's much easier to give reason to why a noble paladin would consider traveling with an evil warlock. A good way to introduce your characters through the patron is to have them gather at the patron's abode. Give them an opportunity to introduce themselves and then introduce the patron. The patron can then further introduce the characters to the players by expanding what hadn't been said. They can recall great deeds of the characters or generally just give an explanation of the character's skills. The common goal. The next one is the common goal. Again, this can be something that is personal to the characters or something that they need to work together in order to complete their next objective. Consider this. The party members are each individually hired to protect a caravan. Even though they are from different backgrounds and alignments, they have a common goal and have to work together. Expanding on that goal by having the caravan attacked and someone kidnapped can give them further motivation to work together. Make sure that your characters have a bonding experience that allows them to trust each other more. This will incentivize them to go on further adventures. The lockup. One of my favorite ways to introduce characters to one another is to have the lockup. Now, a prison would work great, but you can also have a shipwreck. Place your characters in a position where they have no other choice but to work together. They will have to trust one another to survive, be it from breaking out of prison, or proving their innocence, or surviving a shipwreck. Though this is very similar to the common goal, there is a greater sense of urgency. The reason why this is my favorite introduction is because the interactions between the characters feel a lot more natural. Even if the characters should be mortal enemies, for the time being, they will have to trust each other and maybe build a friendship along the way. And finally, the old friends. Of course, the easiest way to start a campaign is by having your characters know each other already. Start off the campaign in media res. After your adventurers have completed many trials together, they are offered a new job. The greatest benefit to this kind of introduction is that the players can earnestly decide what kind of characters they want to play beforehand. They can collaborate to create the best party for the adventure ahead. By the time they are introduced to the adventure plot, they already have more than enough reason to stick together. Though this introduction is the most practical and easiest to do, personally I feel it robs the players from meeting the characters for the first time. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide the best way to introduce your player characters. Speak to your group and find out what works best for them. Maybe you have a great story of how you introduced your party to one another. If so, share your story in the comments below. I would love to read them. But until next time, stay creative.